everyone. I am Neodev Ghosh, Peace House Vice Captain.
I, Vedan Narayan, Unity House Vice Captain.
Welcome you all to the digital platform of BHIS Council Chronicles.
BHIS has always been innovative with respect to its extracurricular activities.
BHIS Chronicles time and again has been making lovely endeavors to open the arena of widespread knowledge through the vast spectrum of speakers from different fields.
BHIS Student Council takes the initiative with an enterprising and informative session with Mr. Trinesh Rai.
He has graduated from Oxford University in 2008, worked with the university for 4 years. He started working in India from 2014 in the field of education technology, professionals training, and teachers training. For education technology, he is working with one of the most advanced technologies, such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality.
He has collaborated with the world's top-rated universities such as Yale, Oxford, Harvard, Cambridge, etc. for our training programs. Mr. Trinesh Rai is the founder and CEO of Citveda Labs Private Limited and VRXBot Private Limited. He owns multiple brands such as ClassTwin.com, Citveda.com, and Innovators.me.
We would like to welcome our guest speaker for the day, Mr. Trinesh Rai, who will throw light on Ruler Program, why emotional intelligence is a necessity for a better future.
Not wasting much time, let's ask our guest speaker to talk magniloquently on this topic, which will lead us to give approbation for his magnificent work.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Um, and I would like to thank the management of BHIS to BHIS Billabong Campo to give me this opportunity to speak to you guys. Uh, as as per my introduction, I'm working in advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and virtual reality. Of course, these are kind of fifth generation technologies which are going to change the way education is provided, and basically, in next 10 years, they will change. The changes these technologies are going to make will be more than how education was provided in the last 1,000 years. So, I mean, if I'm working in such advanced technologies, then why am I here to talk about emotional intelligence? I mean, I should be talking about such advanced technologies, which are fascinating and fascinating the entire world, including Silicon Valley and great entrepreneurs of India as well. The reason why I'm here to talk about emotional intelligence and most importantly, ruler program is because emotional intelligence is way more important than any technologies in the world. Emotional intelligence basically determines who you are. Your emotional intelligence determines who you are. When you have the right character and personality, then you can excel anywhere during any time period. For example, a character like Mahatma Gandhi or Abraham Lincoln will be successful even in today's political situations. Or a character like Isaac Newton, Einstein, Nikola Tesla will be still widely successful in today's academic conditions because they had such kind of temperament, such kind of personality, such kind of character, and that is determined by the emotional intelligence. So if you build your foundation right, then everything will fall into the place. According to various recent researches, your EQ determines your success in life. It can be academic, it can be your job, it can be your business, it can be even sports. For example, most of you are big fan of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He's Captain Cool because he he has very high emotional intelligence. Basically, that's why he managed to do so many things with Indian cricket. He won the World Cups and all, which were not possible for us earlier. So yes, emotional intelligence is your EQ, which is emotional quotient, is more important than your IQ. You can be very smart person, uh, but you may not succeed in life because you don't have enough EQ. Basically, uh, all of us know uh, someone in our life who is really intelligent, very smart person, but not very, you know, uh, honest, or not very, not following the rules, not following the. No, I don't want to say rules, but not following the norms, and really lazy and have no motivation, can't self motivate or motivate people around them. So they don't want to, they don't like to work hard, they don't want to be on time, or they don't want to participate in activities where they can really excel. So it's, in spite of having high IQ, you can still fall behind in life, or not be as successful as you should, as you can be, only because you don't have good good you know uh, emotional quotient, high emotional quotient. And every one of us in our lives, we know such people who are really intelligent people, but they're not succeeding as they should, just because they don't have sufficient. So that is why um, we firmly believe that training of teachers, parents, and students in emotional intelligence will result in a much better education system across the world, and it is happening right now. Most of the school education systems outside India, they are taking it very seriously. Just learning facts, through curriculum with the help of great modern technologies, they're not going to build your foundations. Of course, you can learn a lot of facts, but Google has a lot of facts. Google knows everything, but it cannot implement it in right way. So that's where EQ plays the role. And actually, I would like to congratulate the founder and CEO of Billabong Kanpur, Mrs. Priti Agarwal, who recognized this fact that uh, EQ is really, whatever I said about EQ is very important, uh, and it has, it can bring immense possibilities to the future of school education. So I would like to congratulate her to understand that. We are working with the best institute in the world, Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, which is situated at Yale University. Yale University is one of the best universities in the world. Probably you guys know, like every time it comes second or third ranking in the US, fourth or fifth within the world. So we are working with them, and recently, management and teachers of Billabong Kanpur, uh, they have completed a certification course with the Center for Emotional Intelligence, and soon, Billabong Kanpur has become the first school in Uttar Pradesh to be affiliated with US Center for Emotional Intelligence. So I congratulate the school management for recognizing the importance of emotional intelligence and moving everything forward. The program run by Yale, Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, is called Ruler Program, which basically I'm here to speak about.
Sir, I would request to
Ruler
be a
is
little bit loud. Your voice is not coming properly, sir. A little bit loud. Voice is.
yeah, okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm here to talk about Ruler, uh, and Ruler stands for recognizing, understanding, labeling, expressing, and regulating emotions. We'll talk about it in detail, but before I go to Ruler program, I would like to tell you something about history of emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence, and I'm sure you must have heard this word emotional intelligence before, but this was not a very common term before 1990s. So basically in 1990, there's a psychologist, Peter Salovey, now who is the chairman of Yale University right now, basically. Not Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, but Yale University. Uh, his psychologist, Peter Salovey, and his colleague, John Mayer, introduced the first formal theory of emotional intelligence to the scientific literature. They defined it as the ability to monitor one's own and others' feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and actions. I will repeat. Uh, the definition of emotional intelligence is the ability to monitor one's own and others' feelings and emotions, to discriminate among them, and to use this information to guide one's thinking and actions. Basically, the idea of emotional intelligence was a synthesis of three burgeoning areas of scientific research, which demonstrated that emotions, when used widely, supported reasoning and complex problem solving. So it's very important for you guys, like especially if you're, you know, learning some hard facts and trying to understand some really difficult theories. Having high emotional quotient will help you. It will support your reasoning and help you in complex problem solving. So these three ideas, basically, as I said, emotional intelligence was a synthesis of three areas of scientific research. The first is the rediscovery of Charles Darwin's functional view of emotions. You know, human beings, they have emotions. So every emotions, they have some functionalities. Basically, back in 19th century, Charles Darwin pioneered the idea that emotions signal valuable information and energize adaptive behaviors and future survival. As you know, the fear finally got its due as being very useful indeed, because if you are in front of the lion and you don't you don't understand that emotion, the fear, then basically it has uh, you will get killed. So all the emotions we have developed as hunter and gatherers, they have a use in our life. They have multiple uses in our life. So even fear, anger, all emotions, they have uses in our life. So other idea. This was the Charles Darwin's idea. The next idea was it was a psychologist's view that they believe that emotions and mood play an essential role in thought processes, judgment, and behavior. Um, Basically, social scientists using clever experiments and brain scientists who study different brain regions began to discover ways that emotions interact with cognition and behavior. Uh, I hope you understand what cognition is. Cognition is the ability for us to absorb new information or our ability to learn something new. So basically, emotions interact with our ability to learn something new and our behavior, general behavior. Uh, Research showed that emotions give purpose, priority, and focus to our thinking. So basically, if you're learning a chapter, for example, uh, when you're going to learn a chapter, um, and you relate an emotion with it. Like, if I finish this chapter, I can tell my friends, I can tell my parents, or even you personally feel good that you have completed certain things. So basically, you are attaching emotions to everything, to most of your behaviors, not most, all of your behaviors, specifically. And it gives you purpose, priority, and focus, basically to your thinking. And emotions, they tell us what to do with the knowledge that our senses deliver. They motivate us to act. The third area of scientific inquiry was a search for alternative intelligences, to include a broad array of mental abilities rather than a single mental ability, which is IQ. There was increasing frustration among researchers with the inability of IQ tests to explain important life outcomes among individuals. And that's where they came to find out that even individuals with very, I don't know if you guys are aware of this fact that uh, the person with the highest IQ is a bouncer at a nightclub in US. So I mean, his person with highest IQ should have been greatest scientist or politician or economist. No, but he is because again, IQ alone does not determine success in your life, and this is what was frustrating most of the psychologists during the First World War time and the Second World War time because IQ was discovered, measuring IQ was discovered then. Are you guys with me? I hope. Uh, uh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope
Yes.
you are able to understand what I'm saying, right? Can I carry on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Are you enjoying it, or is this just too much of information for you? I
So
hope you're
it's
enjoying.
interesting. Yes,
Okay.
it's interesting.
All right. Okay. Great. Okay. I'll carry on. So, um, I know the current generation. You like technology quite a lot, right? And I'm working in the most advanced technology. Don't worry about it. But from my personal experience, EQ is much more important than having this technology. So I will carry on with the. So that is the story of emotional intelligence. How the term came to uh, be, how the term came to develop. Now I'd like to talk a little about emotions, what emotions are, and basically how they affect our attention, memory, and learning, decision making. So, for example, if you're feeling strong negative emotions like fear, anger, anxiety, hopelessness, it tend to narrow our minds. You know, I'm sure all of you must have noticed it. If you're worried about something, or you're scared about something, or if you're angry at your colleague or your friend or your parents for some reason, or you're anxious about something, your brain doesn't function as well as it should, like when you are calm and normal and all that. So it's like you're not able to focus with these strong negative emotions. You cannot, because again, the emotions are determining our attentions, and wherever we put our attention, that's where we learn and we memorize. Basically, when these strong negative emotions are there in these feelings, these anxiety, anger, fear are there, our brains respond by secreting cortisol, the stress hormone. And cortisol inhibits the prefrontal frontal cortex from effectively processing information. Prefrontal cortex is the area which is called as the calculator of the brain, or which is called as the planning center of the brain. All the high level processes happens at prefrontal cortex. So basically, your prefrontal cortex, because of this cortisol, is boom, it's gone. It's not working properly. So even at neurocognitive level, our ability to focus and learn is impaired. I mean, at the most basic chemical, biological level, you cannot learn if you're feeling anxious, worried, and so emotions, they impact our learning big time. And same goes for emotions and decision making. So um, we believe that our ability to reason and think rationally is our highest mental power above our unruly emotional side. Reasoning, we all believe in rationality and reasoning, and we think we are just like computers. We are not. Computers, they don't have emotions. We have. Um, you know, this is a trick our brains playing on us, that emotions doesn't matter. In fact, our emotions exert a huge, though mostly unconscious, influence over how our minds function. This fact is especially evident when it comes to the decision making process. Most decisions are attempts at predicting future outcomes. As you know, we ought to buy this car or bike. I'm not going to take that job. Pasta is better choice than simple Indian food. In every case, we consider all the options and choose the one that seems most likely to result in a favorable outcome. In theory, at least, basically. In reality, our emotions largely determine our actions. So, for example, if we are feeling something positive like confidence, optimism, contentment, we'll come to one conclusion about what we ought to do. Right? Like if you're feeling good, if you're happy, and you want to buy a bike or a toy or a car, you think it's a very good idea to buy this. And you will have you will do with this car or a bike or the toy with this thing and that thing. You're thinking very positively. At the same time, if your emotions are negative, the same day, suppose in the morning you are thinking very positively and something happens and you are not happy, your emotions are negative like anxiety, anger, sadness about the same car or the bike or the toy, you will think very, very differently. Like, why am I buying this? I'm not happy about this. And so basically, emotions are impacting our decision making all the time. So you have to understand this because, and every as some great thinker has said, I don't remember who, but our life is series of the decisions we make. You know, and we are making many decisions in a day. So it helps to be emotionally intelligent because you are making better decisions, and that is what is your life. What kind of decisions are you making? What are you choosing next? I hope you get that point. So that is how emotions impact our learning, our memory, and our focus and our decision making. Now I will come a little bit about. So I will try to wrap it up because it can go very long. So I will talk a little bit about Ruler quickly, what Ruler program is, and hopefully you guys will be able to learn about it soon in detail. Not from me, but from people from here. So uh, let me go ahead. Basically, Ruler is acronym. It stands for recognizing emotions, understanding emotions, labeling emotions, expressing emotions, and regulating emotions. Step one is to recognize emotions. And it is not just our own. It is not just our own, but recognizing emotions uh, of the people who are around us as well. And it is not just in the things we think, like feel and say, all those things, but in facial expressions as well, body language as well, vocal tones as well, and other non-verbal signals. Like you can recognize emotions in yourself and in other people by looking at somebody's body language. Like this is, if you're somebody is slouching, they're very bored, they're not very energetic, they're not very happy at that moment of time. If somebody is, very attentive, you can see that, you can see the curiosity in them. So basically, you can see aggressiveness in people. So recognizing emotions in yourself, you can see your own body language. Basically, people who are in, according to research, people who are in depression, they use very different kind of body language, and their shoulders are slouched and they are not working. So recognizing emotions within yourself and the people around you, not through through verbal communication, but through not only through verbal communication, but through the non-verbal communications as well, like body language, etc. The vocal tones and facial expressions as well. So basically, what can happen when we don't recognize something as basic as another person's emotional state? Uh, we have seen, friendly child, they become increasingly hostile. A teenager who was very bright and bubbly becomes lethargic and barely functional, just because his parents, or teachers or friends are not able to understand or recognize what that person is going through. An adult who used to radiate well-being now suffers from crippling anxiety. I mean, if if you miss that, if you're not able to recognize your own emotions or people around you, it can be a problem. That's why ruler is the first step. Within ruler, recognizing emotions is step number one towards becoming emotionally intelligent. Part two is understanding emotions. Basically, it is about understanding our feelings and determining their source. What experiences actually cause them and how then and then see how they have influenced our behavior. So understanding emotions like, okay, you were on your way to school and then you didn't get your favorite breakfast, and now it has I don't know, maybe it can, basically me, I can go off basically. So it has put you in bad mood, but you don't really realize why are you in bad mood, why you are not focused as you should be. So it's such a small example, but understanding emotions is second step towards becoming emotionally intelligent. And how do we understand emotions? Like sometimes we don't realize, but we are feeling happy or we are feeling sad. We need to ask question why. Why do you or I feel this way? What is the underlying reason for this feeling? What's causing it? It's rarely a simple matter. There may be a complex web of events and memories. Some song brings you, like bad memories or good memories, and it causes your mood to go in it. So understanding emotions requires asking question why. Why are you feeling this way? The core skill of understanding is the search for the underlying theme or possible cause that fuels the emotions. We are not asking questions and listening to answers just to provide a sympathetic ear. As we listen, we are looking for a meaning that goes deeper than words being said. So basically, according to Dr. Mark Beckett of Yale University, Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence, the core skill is emotion understanding, like recognizing. Understanding also requires to not only understand your own emotions, but the people or the friend who is around you or the one who is with you. So being an empathetic listener is a is is a necessity during this time. Uh, so you can, without judging your friend, without judging your mother or father, you can listen to them empathetically, that what they have been through and what they are going through. So you can ask why to yourself, and you can ask why to the people around you. Why are they feeling this way? And it's a very simple thing. I practice it at my office, at my home, with my colleagues. And basically, it's a great way for bonding as well, to getting to know your friends, your brothers, your sisters, um, your teachers, your parents better, and to have greater degree of empathy, to understand them, understand the people who are next to you in a deeper way. So basically, that's why understanding emotions is the second characteristic you need to to the path towards emotionally intelligent individual. And third is L, which is labeling. We have talking about ruler, which R, which is recognizing, U, which is understanding. Now we'll talk about L, which is labeling emotions. Um, it is very important to label emotions correctly. Uh, okay, uh, sometime uh, we are not able to label emotions correctly, which leads us to greater problems. For example, jealousy and being envious, they have very different meaning. But most of the people in the world, they will tell you that jealousies and envious, they are synonymous. They're not. Um, the jealousy is something just to level. I mean, suppose uh, jel- uh, eh, when you are jealous of somebody, when you're envious of somebody. So jealousy comes when there's a personal matter involved, right? When your best friend is doing something, or your best friend is getting better marks than you, or he has got better curricular activities than you. And envy does not have to be personally related. You cannot be jealous of people who are not close to you, but you can be envious of people who are close to you, like somebody you don't know. You can be envious of Virat Kohli because he's a captain of Indian cricket team. So, but you cannot be jealous. So this is labeling emotion, like labeling your feeling correctly. Having those nuanced vocabulary where you can. Uh, it helps you legitimize and organize your experiences. Basically, when we attach a word to a feeling, it gives emotion substance and creates a mental model of the word. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Uh, It gives emotion substance and creates a mental model of the word, which means it can be compared with other feelings we have and also with other people's feelings. So basically, you are able to relate. So you are able to relate, and um, not just for your own for what you're going through by yourself, but also for somebody else, your friend or colleague, what he is or she is going through. Basically, it connects us to the rest of the world. Our emotions become a form of communication, a way to share the experience of being alive. Right? There's a there's a body of research showing the health benefits of social connectivity, and this is where it begins in being able to identify with one another. The terminology of emotion allows us to read one another's lives almost as we would in a novel. The words give us each a story to tell. So labeling is very, very important, and labeling it correctly. Like, okay, how are you feeling? I'm feeling fine. Are you sure you're feeling fine? I mean, there are, you can say, I'm feeling a little down today, or I'm feeling euphoric. uh, just these little differences, the person in front of you will be able to understand you better and talk to you in a much better way. Oh, you're feeling down, why are you? But if somebody asks us, how are you feeling, the first response will, oh, fine. How many times are we fine actually, during the day, in a period of 24 hours? There's hardly, like 15, 20 minutes where we are like fine, like not really happy or not below fine, above or below fine. So vocabulary is very important. I mean, that's where you put your finger on it, on your emotion. And that is very important. So we have come across R, U, and L. Now we will go to expressing emotions, the E. Basically, expressing can be the scariest of the five letters, all within the ruler program, because here's where we take what we have discovered in, like, recognizing, understanding, labeling, the intimate things we have learned about ourselves, and begin to do something about it. So now you have learned about yourself. Now you have learned about your friends. Like, you can label, you can recognize your emotions, your friends' emotions, you understand your emotions, your friends' emotions, and you can label your emotions, and you can talk to your friends and label them with them, you label their emotions with them. But that is all words, and all uh, not very action oriented. When it comes to expressing emotions, that's where we start taking actions of the things which we have realized so far. This is where communication starts. where you basically present yourself to the world. You're expressing or your joy or your sorrow, or or your envy, or your fear or your anxiety. um, and it must be, it has to be limited to cultural context as well. Like, the people in America, they show their emotions very differently than people in Japan, uh, uh, and people in China, they, also people in India. So basically, uh, well, as far as expressing emotions comes, we are very well known all over the world with our songs and dancing. Uh, so yeah, we express our emotions really well. So uh, yeah, this is another very important part of ruler, entire ruler thing, where and this is the action part of the ruler, where you understand about yourself and your surroundings, and now you start taking actions like expressing yourself, whatever you have understood about yourself and the people around you. And the last is, and very important, the most important is regulating emotions, basically. Well, a lot of the time when we are, um, we are not motivated to do something, right? Then there is a self-talk where you're telling yourself, like, okay, I must do it because of X, Y, Z. Or when you are angry about something, or you're overjoyous about something. And for example, if you see, because you are youngsters, I would like to, you know, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, if you see him, he doesn't, emotions, regulation of emotions are really good. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he regulates his emotions very well. So most of the people who are very successful today, um, you know, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was very good of he was very good at emotion regulation, and one of the greatest men ever was Mahatma Gandhi, and Abraham Lincoln was a great regulator of their emotions. So basically, it tells you that's where for example, if you failed in exam or you failed in your test, and now you're completely demotivated, but you start to work hard again, you start to learn again, and you go next time and you pass, or you do really well. And this resilience, uh, and according to most of the scientists in the world, resilience is the biggest trait required for success. Not every time you're going to get the best marks, not every time you're going to be at the top of everything. We are all human beings, but we have to be resilient, and that resilience comes from regulating your emotions. You have to understand what is right for you and take steps towards it. And that's where all this information of ruler comes into play. um, that this is the last part of ruler, which is regulating emotions. And this is the most important part. And there are various different tools um, to practice this ruler technique, where you can regulate and recognize and label your emotions. One of them is mood meter. Mood meter is basically uh, it's an can I share a file here? Is it possible?
Yes, sir, you can do it through share screen.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, just give me a second. So can you? I hope you can see this mood meter. This is called as mood meter. So there are different blocks here. You can see blue, red, yellow, and green. Basically, x-axis is about your energy level, right? This mood meter it helps you to understand yourself better. It helps you in recognizing your emotions, you know, expressing your emotions, and about labeling your emotions. Mostly recognizing and labeling. So basically, this is energy. For example, you're very energetic right now and feeling very pleasant. So you fall into this yellow, orangish yellow part. That is where you do a lot of, um, um, you know, high focused. Sorry, you do like if you have to crack a problem, that's where you need to be in yellow. And if you have to do like an assignment which takes like 3 to 4 hours, then you have to be there somewhere in this uh, green zone, uh, where you don't have too high energy which can just burn off easily, but sorry, but you are feeling pleasant and you are carrying on working. Uh, where you don't want to be is this blue zone where uh, you don't have energy at all and you're not feeling very pleasant at the same time. This is where you tend towards depression. Um, Here in red zone, this is where you have to do some confrontational work. For example, if you're not happy about something and you have to talk to your boss, or you have to talk to your supervisor, or whoever you want to talk to, this is where the red zone. You have a lot of energy, but you're not very present, and that is the confrontational part. It is also good, but every part is good. So basically, mood meter is used like you can use it every hour, and it helps you track where you are on this at different time of the day, and it helps you to formulate a strategy to fall into, like, mostly you want to be always somewhere in upper yellow, sorry, bottom yellow and upper green part. So this is a very good tool for you to use to sharpen your ruler abilities. So apart from that, we have this meta moment. Meta moment is the best tool for regulation of emotion. And I forgot the name of one of the writers. I don't know about you guys if you know about Holocaust in during Second World War. There was persecution of Jews by Hitler, and there was concentration camp, and one of the psychoanalysts, he was in that concentration camp, and he was going through serious problems. You guys can't even imagine the kind of tortures people used to go through, Jews used to go through in this uh, concentration camp. And while he was going through this torture, and he was imagining lecturing about psychology in his classroom, and he did not feel the pain. So basically, what he said was, um, between every stimuli and your reaction, there is a time period, and that time period is yours, right? So if somebody makes you angry, but you have a certain 1 or 2 seconds, that is your time period. You don't have to respond to that anger. This it's a beautiful thing, and that's where meta moment comes in. Like something happens to you. Yeah, we see road rage. Like we see people driving their car and somebody comes and they hit them from behind. It's hardly like 500 rupees worth of damage, but they end up killing each other. So what happens? That's a lack of that use of that time frame. So basically, that's what meta movement teaches you, how to regulate yourself. For example, something happens, okay, to you. Look, it's very important, guys. You have to use meta movement. I use it every day in my life. You have to use it every day. Something happens to you, you sense the problem, and then you stop for a second. Just like count backwards, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slowly, and see your best self. That who are you? Who are you as a real person? Um, and strategize. Like, okay, I'm going to walk away from here, or I should not say anything bad because this is not the right place, or something like that. I mean, it can be positive, it can be negative, and that's it. Execute it. You just have to execute that fact, and you are through. So it is very important for you to use meta movement, and very well. Mhm. Yeah, we can stop sharing now. I don't know how to do it basically.
So then you just have to press stop share.
Yes, sir.
I, I can't get my window.
So you can go into Zoom and then you can stop share through there.
Sir, Zoom.
Yeah, yes, sir, Zoom.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, little bit more I would like to say. Um, it's very important for you guys to understand the importance of emotional intelligence. That's why I keep on talking and talking. Um, Given this current situation of pandemic, there has been so many problems in mental health of people, um, and the resilience of people uh, has been really impacted. Stress level is high by 40% of the students. From 4 years to 18 years old. I'm not talking about college going and teachers. And teachers are going through the worst phase in their life. The amount of work they have to do. Parents are really stressed because children are spending all day within the house, and the parents are not used to it basically. So this is one of the worst times entire humanity, at least in last 50, 60, 70 years or so, we have faced. And that's why emotional intelligence is very important for us right now. We can develop amazing technologies. I'm working with the best technologists in the world, but we are humans by the end of the day. And we have to. This Earth is not inhabited by artificial intelligence, or it is not inhabited by some aliens. It is inhabited by humans. The society is created by humans. If we don't understand each other and if we don't understand ourselves, um, technology is not going to help us. Like right now in social, if you see the impact of social media on teenagers, is really bad. I mean, Instagram is really impacting the concentration level. There is attention deficit, and because websites are designed that way. Even if I have to design a website, I would like people to stick to it. So this is the right time for us as a student, as a parent, as a teacher to have a high level of emotional intelligence. There has never been a better time, basically. So, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. We're almost running out of time.
Yes, sir. Sir, there is a question from Augusta.
Yeah, please do, please ask.
Yes.
Sure.
Sir, AI has already beaten humans in detecting emotions. Is that a threat or a promise?
Well, if you, I will have to go a little bit in detail in AI before I can answer. So, whatever we are using is, whatever AI we are using is, it's not AGI, it's not artificial general intelligence. Like AI, which can play chess, cannot play Pokemon, or cannot drive the car, or cannot run your house very well. So basically, AIs, they are very limited to their certain functionalities. For example, according to your question, AI, which has surpassed humans in recognizing the emotions, but it cannot do anything out of it. It is just good at it, and nothing more. So what who we are, basically, we are artificial general intelligence or general intelligence, and there is a big quest to make an AI, artificial intelligence, which can be human-like, not just at recognizing emotions, but driving the car, doing things, and everything. So basically, it does not matter if an AI can do one partial work of humans. Recognizing emotion is not everything. As we see in ruler, can that AI regulate its emotions, or can it help other human regulate their own emotions? No, because it doesn't have such kind of capabilities. In future it will. I mean, we will be working towards creating artificial general intelligence or artificial super intelligence, which will be very, very human-like. We are even I am personally working on it. So yeah. So right now, AI is nowhere near what the human capabilities, overall human capabilities. Yeah. Next. I hope you understood this. Okay, I hear that.
So there is one more question. It is from Augusta. Uh, what research is going on in Yale right now on machines
What
thinking?
basically your question is what research is going on Yale University on machine can think. Machine cannot think. That's what I said. You guys, I mean, we are little bit going. We are diverting from our topic. We are here for emotional intelligence, but machines cannot think. You have to understand a concept. You can go on Google, you can find what is artificial general intelligence. Right now, artificial intelligence is only about a small part of some action. Like an AI which is controlling your house will control your house and save electricity. An AI which is helping you drive Tesla, for example, drive a car, it will only drive a car. It will not be able to recognize your emotions. So basically, if an AI can recognize your emotions, see your emotions, it doesn't really matter at this stage. And AI cannot think, it can just process. They cannot come up with their own ideas. Then what IoT sensor does? IoT sensor is just taking the information from outside, like collecting data, and we're trying to make sense of data. That is not that is not thinking. That is making sense of data which you are programmed to do. That is what IoT sensor does. we can see, for example, I can check it. AI can check the heartbeat, but cannot it cannot make sense of that heartbeat. That what heartbeat. I mean, if that person is going to have heart attack anytime soon, until unless we feed the data in that AI. Okay, this is a good question from Viraj. How to deal with multiple emotions which are going on in our mind? Well, the first thing you have to do is, the great thing is that you recognize that there are multiple emotions going on. Second thing is you have to label them. You have to label each of those emotions. Like, if you're anxious and angry at the same time, and you're sad as well, then you have to label all those two, three, four emotions, which generally we are going through positive or negative emotions, you know, which can borderline with each other. So you have to label those emotions. Once you label those emotions, it takes some time to label them properly. Once you label those emotions, then you will be able to find a solution. Ask a question, why? And once you ask the question why, then you will be able to deal with those multiple questions, the emotions within you. Labeling is very important. So another question from Agastya: how to measure and interpret emotions with sensor and AI? It's not it's You can understand emotions. Thank you, Viraj. You can understand emotions through facial expressions. Basically, today what artificial intelligence is doing. Okay, how ruler helps to understand meta moments by Agastya. Okay, no, ruler does not. Meta moments help you uh, to use ruler properly. It's the other way around. So when you are like when we spoke about regulating emotions in the end, um, you have to, for example, as I gave an example that suppose there's a road rage problem. Like for example, in UK, it is one of the most common problems. Or in India, it is also a very common problem. If you're going by a car and somebody hits you in the back of the car, and probably the damages are hardly a few hundred rupees, but still you start fighting with that person. A lot of people are fighting with each other. That is where meta movement comes in, because you are angry that somebody hits your car. You have to regulate that emotions. As I mentioned, Auguste, that regulation is one of the most important parts of ruler, which is like the last part of ruler. And that's where we use meta movement uh, for regulation. I mean, for recognition as well. Like we are angry, so it is time for us to calm down, count backwards, like 10, 9, 8, 6, whatever works for you, and then calm yourself down and see, devise a strategy for it. See your best self, and then go ahead. Any more questions, guys? So we have one more question from Agastya. Can I see Agastya? Where is he?
Agastya, please switch on your camera.
Agastya, Agastya.
He's shy.
Yes, sir. Yes, come.
Good afternoon, sir.
So you are the one who has been asking so many questions on artificial intelligence. Um, Of course, there is no artificial emotional intelligence. You need emotions for emotional intelligence, and there are no artificial emotions. So there is no artificial emotional intelligence. And there are various subsets of AI. You have probably when you grow up, then I can teach you better what artificial intelligence is. First, we have to understand what intelligence is. Then we have to understand what artificial intelligence is. We have to understand. Can you define intelligence? What is intelligence? So intelligence is intelligence is an ability to gather information from your surroundings and make sense of that information. Do you understand? We have five senses, right? And we take information from our five senses and we make sense of those information. That is intelligence. Less sense you can make, lesser intelligent you are. More sense you can make, more intelligent you are, right? So artificial intelligence is given a lot of data, right? And that data is crunched by artificial intelligence, and they try to make sense of those data. So basically, there's a lot of work being done by humans uh, for artificial intelligence to work at the moment. And as I explained again and again, one artificial intelligence which is playing chess cannot be emotionally, cannot recognize your emotions, and other artificial intelligence which is driving your car cannot play chess. So basically, there is no artificial general intelligence. That is the quest of all the people who are working in AI, including mine, to create artificial intelligence, which is like humans. It can drive a car, it can walk, it can talk, it can do everything. Like there is something called as, I mean, we are going off topic here. We're supposed to talk about ruler and emotional intelligence, not artificial intelligence. But I will tell you something that still we are long way. There is long way to go to have emotionally intelligent artificial intelligence. Any more questions, guys? Anyone? I can't hear. Can you type it down? Try to ask question with about emotional intelligence and ruler, not AI. I'm here about emotional intelligence and ruler. We are going off topic at the moment. Yes. I can't hear you very well. You can type it down. You can type your questions down.
Augusta, type your
Agasthya,
message
please
down
type the question because your net is
because
not.
it's not, yeah, your net is
Communicating.
unstable.
Your question is not audible to us, so it is better that you write the question. Sir Agastya is typing his question.
Okay. So were you guys able to understand something about emotional intelligence and its importance?
So the question has come. Sir Agastya is asking, Sir, can EI be learned?
Absolutely. That's what we were talking about for last 1 hour. The ruler is a way for, like, IQ cannot be IQ cannot be extended. Suppose if you are born with 100 or 110 120 IQ, You can increase it by 4 or 5 during your lifetime. But emotional intelligence, which is generally called as EQ, emotional quotient, it can be learned 100%. That is why ruler is formed. That is why ruler is created, to learn emotional intelligence. And we should practice it. It is kind of and it makes huge difference in our lives. Sometimes you're not motivated. I'm running 3 different companies. Running one company is really, really hard work. Sometimes you are not motivated to work, especially in this pandemic. But then this, uh, emotional intelligence really helps to get your work done and be on time and drive yourself, motivate yourself correctly. So definitely, AI can be learned. It should be learned, guys. You should always, you should use AI in your day-to-day lives. Yeah,
Sir, not seeing any more questions, we would like
all
to
right,
end this session.
sure. Fantastic. I had amazing time with you guys. I hope I was able to teach you something.
Yes, thank you, sir, for this stimulating speech, which was indeed a revelation for everyone. I'm sure we all must have learned more about this topic.
Thank you.
Our
Thank
heartfelt
you.
gratitude to our founder and CEO, Mrs. Preeti Agarwal, for initiating such talks, which kindles us in the curiosity and deepens our knowledge.
We also convey our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Trinesh Rai, for the dynamic talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this BHIS Council Chronicles.
We will meet again next week on 31st October 2020 at the same time with another guest speaker, Mr. Dharmendra Bhogal. Till then, everyone, stay home, stay
Stay
safe.
home, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you.